My name is Carlos Cepeda, and I'm going to be talking about classroom norms and rules. The first rule I'm going to talk about is how to enter and exit the class. Two questions I have repeatedly for all classroom rules are how is it applied inside a classroom and how is it applied differently in my classroom? Well, students should come in on time and sit in their assigned seats. Teachers should stand by the door and greet them. And at the end of class, students cannot leave the classroom until the teacher dismisses them or it's time to leave. In my classroom, I stand by the door and I greet my students in Spanish as they walk in. I don't dismiss my students until class time is up. Now I'm going to talk about how to ask to go to the bathroom. In the normal classroom, students are required to use a hall pass in order to use the bathroom. On that bathroom pass, it should state the name of the student, the time they should return back to class, and the teacher's name. Um, Another rule is raise your hand for permission to speak, one voice at a time. Inside a classroom, students should raise their hand in order to speak out loud. In my classroom, I usually remind students to raise their hand by modeling it for them. Then we usually practice until we master it. Attention getters are always fun. Every classroom should have an attention getter. Um, each teacher should have their own attention getter, but they should have the same, the each teacher should definitely have a reason why they have attention getter. In my classroom, I use an attention getter in Spanish, in which students really respond to well. For example, if they're talking a lot, I'll say atención por favor or silencio por favor, and I get their attention. Another rule is respect yourself and each other. In a normal classroom, this should be rule number one. Why? Because it's very important. Respecting each other and yourself should always come first, and students should come into each class knowing this expectation. I mean same thing in my class as well. Each classroom should have zero tolerance for bullying. Um, Bullying has become a big problem at a lot of high schools lately. Each teacher should spend some time in their classroom speaking about why bullying is not permitted at school and what are the consequences of bullying. So, yeah. Another rule is tardiness. Tardiness is a big rule. Every classroom should have a tracking system to hold students accountable for being tardy. Teachers should normal how many times a certain student can be tardy before they reach out to parents. In my classroom, if students come to class 3 minutes late, then they are marked tardy. If a certain student is tardy 2 times in 1 week, I would contact parents to let them know what's going on. Definitely, tardiness is something you want to track. Cell phones should not be allowed inside a classroom. It seems like every high schooler now has a cell phone, so definitely keep track of that and reminding students to keep it inside their backpack. In my classroom, they get a warning, and the second time I take it away. Another rule is no eating in class. Obviously, if any students eating in class, you should remind them that they should be eating outside the classroom or you should take away their food. A big norm that I think every teacher should have is have students turn in their work on time. Similar to the tardiness policy, teachers should reach out to parents if certain students are not returning in their homework. If the students have not turned in their homework and they're constantly returning the homework late. In my classroom, students know that if they don't turn in their homework on time, chances are that I will call their parents next time it happens. And the last classroom norm or rule that I want to talk about is no profanity. Of course, in high school, there's a lot of kids usually use profanity, but always remind them that profanity should not be used in class because we don't tolerate any profanity at all whatsoever. And then I want to end where it's showing you guys my artifact, which is my bathroom pass I have in my classroom. As you can see, the front, it says Denali Hall Pass. Denali is the school where I work at. It says teacher name, room number, student name, and reason for leaving the class, bathroom or the front office or another reason, the date, and the time expected back for students. In the back, we just have a reminder that states we are college bound ready, so every minute counts. So every minute they're out of the classroom, that's minutes wasted of learning.